Hey, it's Erin. In today's workout, we're gonna be training legs. We'll focus on gaining muscle while losing fat. Keep in mind, if this is your goal, it's gonna take you a little bit longer than if you were to just focus on gaining muscle or just focus on losing fat. But it can be done. And the two keys here to keep in mind are to train heavy. So choose a weight that's gonna be challenging and keep your recovery time to about 45 seconds in between sets and supersets. So bust out your phone timer or get a digital watch, whatever it takes, keep that recovery time short. This is gonna give you those cardio benefits and also strength training benefits all bundled up into one. Without further ado, let's train. The first exercise is heavy dumbbell deadlift. Stand feet about 1.5 times shoulder width apart and grab the dumbbell with an underhand interlocking grip. The reason why I love this exercise so much as opposed to a traditional barbell deadlift is that if you have long femurs or a long torso, this allows you to counterbalance against the weight and puts you into proper form. Whereas with the bar, there's a tendency to lean forward a little bit too much and put extra pressure on the lower back. So really focus on pushing your weight through your heels and controlling the negative or eccentric portion of that rep, and try to get below parallel with your upper leg if possible. Brace with your upper body, shoulders back. The next exercise is using one dumbbell. We'll do a Bulgarian split squat. Now I want you to start with your non-dominant leg first and let that dictate the number of reps you do with the other leg. Now I'm holding the dumbbell on the side of the leg that's working, and what this is going to do is it's going to cause those glutes to kick in just a little bit more. And really lean forward with this exercise, especially if you'd like to hit the glutes. If you want to hit the rest of the leg, feel free to sit up a little bit more with your upper body. Weight through the heel, and there should be almost no pressure on that rear leg. So really think about moving the weight with just your working leg or that front leg and merely stabilizing with that back leg. Now keep that dumbbell in exactly the same spot so I can get the same stance on the other side. Anytime you do single arm or single leg exercises, be sure that you're doing them exactly the same on both sides. This is going to ensure that you have an equal outcome for both sides. So weight through the heel, really control that negative portion, push through the heels on the way up, and maintain that forward lean, especially if you want to hit those glutes. Next exercise is a Landmine RDL. Now for this, you want your feet about shoulder width apart, weight through the heels, and on the way up, I want you to really think about taking your hips and pushing your hips into the bar. So again, you're counterbalancing against the weight, but you're pushing against the weight too. This is a fantastic exercise for hitting the entire hamstrings, for hitting those glutes. And of course, you're going to hit a little bit of upper back here too. So you want soft knees and a little bit of a bend to the knee at the bottom. Keep that back nice and flat and really pay attention to this. You don't want any kind of rounding whatsoever in the back, otherwise you'll feel it in the back. Really think about your hips as the hinge. So that's the only place where you should be actively moving. Grab a couple of 45-pound plates, and we're actually going to keep those additional 45-pound plates right where they are. So I've got the bar loaded up. This is a foot elevated glute bridge. And I love this exercise because it gives you a few more inches of room in that range of motion. So just like the other exercises, you want to push that weight through the heels. And I'd recommend getting the rubber plates if you can. See, these metal plates slip just a little bit. So rubber plates, make sure they're stacked nice and secure on there. And you're going to slow and control with the negative and really think about exploding on the way up. So think about your tempo here. I'm going to keep that chin tucked, and I'm only using the arms to guide the bar and to keep it from rolling back. So this should be entirely felt in the glutes. All right, we've got those plates. Grab some dumbbells. We're gonna do heel elevated hack squat. Now for this exercise, you're gonna feel it a little bit in your glutes, but you're mostly gonna feel it in those hamstrings. So with the elevated heel, your weight should be through your toes. You're using the dumbbells to help keep your upper body a little bit more upright, and put a little bit more pressure on those quads. So go down as far as you can go here. You don't have to go quite as low as I do. And on this exercise, you want your knees to be in front of your toes because that's how you're gonna feel it in your quads. So really focus, use those weights to balance yourself. Weight through the toes. And here's a little secret here too. You can turn your toes in or turn your toes out just a little bit, and you'll feel it a little bit more in different parts of your quads if you do that. So if you do that frog stance, you're gonna feel it more in that quad sweep area, whereas if you turn it in, you're gonna feel it a little bit more in the VMO or inner quad area. All right, we've got that barbell set up. I've got 135 pounds, and I'm using the metal plates as a stopper. Preferably here you'd have a bar pad. I did not, so I'm using a towel, and this is just to protect my Achilles here. It's a little bit of a brutal exercise if you don't have padding against the bar. Now, feet should be dorsiflexed, so you don't want your toes pointed. And the reason for this is that calves are gonna really take over on this exercise if you have your toes pointed. Think about keeping your body in a plank position. So your body should be one straight line, and control that negative as long as you can, and then place your hands in front of you and give yourself a little spot to get back up. This is actually one of the #1 exercises for building beautiful hamstrings. So although the setup takes a little bit longer, it's totally worth it. Make sure you at least have a squat sponge or some kind of pad to put your knees on too. So you're gonna go for 3 sets of as many reps as possible here, and you might find that rep range looks something like 10, 8, 7. It's always going to be descending as you start to fatigue. And you can always get extra reps by giving yourself a little bit of an extra push at the bottom there. Okay, we've got 2 45-pound plates on the floor. This is a modified calf raise on the Smith machine. So if you don't actually have a Smith machine, this is a fantastic option. So here, think about getting that full stretch through the calves, and rather than thinking of lifting your heels up, think about pushing your heels forward towards your toes. So that action of pushing your heels forward should really recruit those calves rather than just lifting up. So it's a little bit of a different movement than your day-to-day walking or your day-to-day running, which should provide you positive results or calf growth or calf sculpting. So here, 3 sets of as many reps as you can. Workouts like these should help you get closer to your goals and should also help you spend less time in the gym. So if you think about it, traditional workouts will have you lift and then do cardio afterwards. This can take a couple of hours, and the problem with steady state cardio is that when you do 30 minutes today, for example, next week you may have to do 45 minutes, and the week after you may have to do an hour just to get the same results. The body is amazing amazingly adaptive. Keep your steady state cardio to the last few weeks of your training or dialing down process. So for example, if you're getting ready for a vacation, a photo shoot, or a contest, that cardio is a tool that you can use to get you in great shape those last few weeks, but it shouldn't be relied upon as a year-round tool for staying lean. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and don't forget to click that little bell. You'll be the first to know whenever a new video comes out. Thanks for watching. Until next time, train hard, y'all.